Alright, so let's get this broccoli hyphen 1 kg and try to format it with only vegetable name by removing this hyphen 1 kg. So this is the actual text we are getting, right? So first of all, I'll give you the logic approach how we need to proceed here. We need to separate this particular string and broccoli. The vegetable name and hyphen 1 kg should be separated. Firstly, so in Java on string, so get text is written in string, right? On the string itself, you have a method called split. Yeah, this one. So when you provide this method, you need to tell based upon what letter I have to split it. So here I have to split hyphen using hyphen. So when you split using hyphen, the result of the string will be breaked into two parts. First part will have broccoli and the second part will have 1 kg. So that means you are asking to split based upon this letter so that it will returns array where 0th index broccoli will fall, in first index 1 kg will fall. Okay, so if you ask to split based upon 1, then in 0th index broccoli hyphen will fall and in the first index kg will fall. So left and right of that specific letter will be fallen into respective indexes. Now here I will split based upon hyphen because all the vegetables have same format. So if you format for one name, it will be applied for all the names. So right now you have an error here. Why? Because when you split, now what it returns is an array with left value in 0th index and with right value in the first index. But here the return type what you initially told is only the string, not an array. Now treat this as an array so that error will go. So move your cursor on this and check it out here. It's saying that change type of name to string of brackets. So it's asking to convert this into arrays because when you use split method, it will give you two values. So when two values fall into this name array, name 0 what name 0 value will be nothing but broccoli and then name 1 will be 1 kg. So we are clear that we don't need this junk. That's the reason we are formatting this. So forget about name of 1. So after this step, now you are very clear that you need to get this name of 0 variable. Okay. And again, if you carefully observe, when it separates with hyphen, the left of string will fall in 0th index, which we just saw, right? But there is a space. Space also comes into picture. It will throw that broccoli and one white space into the 0th string. But when you actually compare with your required items, you are not giving space like this. If you give space, then you are good. The name of 0 you can extract. So what you can do is you have to remove all the spaces. To remove all the spaces, so you got name, right? Name of 0 dot, there is a method called trim in Java where it just trims white spaces either in the leftmost or rightmost. Perfect. So in this way you will get a formatted name. Let's say this as a formatted name. So now when you run this, first of all broccoli hyphen 1 kg is what getText returns. Thereafter we are splitting it. After split, we are pulling up the value present in the 0th index, which is the left side of this hyphen. And then we also realize that there is a space. So to trim all white spaces, on that name of 0, broccoli space, we are trimming. So that space will be gone. And in this broccoli, exact name will be stored. That's what we need because we are comparing this with the arrays what we have here, broccoli. Okay. So once you get this, copy this name and replace it here. Perfect. So now the actual vegetable name is coming into this if condition. Now it checks whether the vegetable name formatted whatever you got, if it is present in your items needed to add it into cart. If it matches, then it will go inside and click on this. Nice, right? So all these are real-time examples. Please note that I am not complicating anything. Tomorrow if you try to attend for any interviews, people try to drill down you like with all these examples. So initially when I made these videos 2 years back, I did not teach all these concepts because at that time knowing selenium itself is a huge task. So people will really did not go into deep dive concepts. But in recent days every resume have selenium. Okay, no matter what he knows or she knows or not, they by default putting the word called selenium in their resume. So the interviewers are really having tough time to find out the right candidate. So they were drilling more into concepts like this, on how do you add items in the array and how do you validate each and everything which we just saw, and how do you split. All these are the examples where you were tested on. So that's the reason the latest videos whatever I am making into this course, I am adding all those examples so that you will correlate yourself when you attend for interviews or when you do something at your workplace on selenium. Okay, nice. Everything is good. One last problem here we have is that break statement. So you have written all this code, and when you submit your project, and whoever client is referring that, if there is any technical guy, then they will definitely come with a question that why not break. Then you can clearly tell them that if you use break here, so firstly it will try for broccoli. Once broccoli is found, it will hit the break and it will totally come out of for loop. So it will not validate for cucumber and beetroot. So if you miss giving break, then it will unnecessarily run 30 times, right? We only need 3 vegetables. And when we found that in the first row itself, then what is the point in running all the remaining rows when you already have? So then how to solve this problem? Let's see. So see, Java itself is not enough here. You need to have some puzzle minded logic here. Let's try to solve this in that manner. So you are very clear that whenever it matches with the items in array, it will come inside this if block, right? So let's say your code came into this block 3 times. Then what does that mean? When it came 3 times, that means all the 3 items are successfully checked by this condition. Okay, so only when the condition matches with array, then only it will come inside this if block. So when you know that your code already came 3 times inside this, that means all these 3 items are already matched and clicked on added to cart. Then next time why do we need to run? Not required, right? So we have to keep an eye how many times our code is coming inside this. If it already came 3 times, then we can quit this for block, isn't it? Because you are asking to only click 3 items. So once already 3 items is done, so no point in again iterating. So how do you know then whether your code is actually coming 3 times or not? So one thing what we can do, I will actually declare one more variable here, I int j. Okay. So whenever it comes inside, so when condition matches, it comes inside, right? So initially it will be 0. Whenever it comes, it will be plus plus. So j equals to 0. When it first time comes inside, let's say it came for cucumber, then j becomes 1. Okay. And then again loop will check for remaining called broccoli. And when it comes next time, the j value will be incremented one more time, right? This time j equals to 2. And third time again, when it comes inside, j will become 3. That's it. 3 times it's already there. So every time when you are exiting this loop, you can put condition that if j is greater than, or if you can say if j equals to 3, then break. What do you think about it? Does that make sense? So when you already gone 3 times, then stop this complete block. And when you go for first time, j equals to 1, 1 equals to 3 do not match, so the next break will not get executed. Okay, if there is only one statement, you need not give all these braces. Okay, let's give this for your convenience. If j equals to 2, 2 equals to 3 do not match, and it will not break. And when it becomes 3, that means you are very clear that it came inside 3 times already, so there is no point in checking again, and this can stop your whole execution. Perfect. So let's declare this j equals to 0 on the top, not inside this for block. Alright, so let's run this test and see how it goes. But to appreciate all this coding whatever we did, if we see this execution in debug mode, you will get more clear picture on what we have accomplished. Okay, so I'll try to put breakpoint here, and then I will show how all these steps are being executed, and then you will get some confidence on what you are doing. So let's run this in debug mode. In the same way, you will also understand how to debug as well. So there are a lot of advantages of running now in debug mode. Perfect. So I have put breakpoint here so that step stopped at this particular point. So right now in this step we were trying to get all the products, isn't it? So go to the next step. You can go to the next step with F6 and then watch out here. So you will have a variables tab like this. In variables tab, product step is executed, right? You can see that variable here. And totally how many elements we got here? Total 30. So it starts from 0th index. So that means total 30 elements are there. Good. So now we're gonna iterate into this products for 30 times and pull out each and every value present in index. Okay. So firstly, let's go inside. Right. So I equals to 0 now. Right. When I equals to 0, it extracted the 0th item of the 30 items, and when you pull the get text, the value got stored in the name variable. So we are asking to split, right? So when you expand this, you see that in 0th index broccoli is stored, in the first index 1 kg is stored. Perfect. So we are on the track till this point. So let's go to the next step. So this step is now executed. So you have formatted name. So in formatted name we want to take 0th index, that broccoli will get stored here. You see that in formatted name you are seeing the value is broccoli, which we want. Nice. And it got trimmed, so there are no more spaces. Perfect. So we have successfully formatted this string from broccoli -1 kg to broccoli. You can clearly see in your debug. So now again come to the next step, and if items needed list dot contains formatted name. So now we are checking if the broccoli is present in this item needed or not. Yes, it's present. What happens if it's present? If it's present, then it should go to inside this if block. So let's see if it goes or not. Perfect. It went inside, and it will make j equals to 1, saying that I went for once. Now, so it's trying to click on that particular index. So here 0th is a broccoli, right, which we found. So we are trying to click that button. Nice. Now come back to your Chrome browser and see. You see that it added. It has successfully added to the cart, and if you open the cart, you will see broccoli is clearly added. Nice. So if j equals to 3, then exit the for loop. Right now our j equals to 1, so it will not exit, which is expected. So the loop starts for second time for I equals to 1 index, and this time formatted name is cauliflower. Okay, so once you get formatted name as cauliflower, is cauliflower present in the items needed list? No. So what happens then? It will not go inside the if block. Let us see. When I say next, you see that it skipped. It did not go inside this block. So that's how we have written our code. Yes, this looks good. We have tested negative scenario as well. So next time, cucumber is what we got this time, and it will check whether cucumber is present in the items needed list. Yes, it is present, so it should go inside the loop, inside the block, and then it clicks on it and go back to your browser and see cucumber got selected and the items got incremented to 2. Nice. Is j equals to 3? No, j equals to 2. That means we have still one more value to validate, and we are saying don't exit. So it will not go inside. Perfect. It came outside. So the next one what we have is a beetroot. Is beetroot is the one present here? Yes. So this is the last item and it will should go inside. Perfect. Now j equals to 3, which is obvious because this is the last item what we want to search and select, and we have successfully selected that item as well. Beetroot is also added. All the 3 items in the cart which we want to send into the cart, that's what we mentioned in our array, right? Everything is done, and now j equals to 3, so it will go inside and break that entire for loop. And when you execute this step, you see that it came outside of the for loop and your test is completed. That's it. Execution is done and you can see all these items added into the cart. If you carefully observe, we have implemented in break statement such a way that whenever all these items are fulfilled, then just come out of your for loop. So now I think you will get confidence on what you have written. So if your test failed, then do debugging like this so that you will clearly understand where exactly things are going wrong. And we have also proven that our entire test is working as expected. So with debugging, it's working. And if I run this test normally, do you think it runs as expected? Let's see. There is one twist. So I wantedly put that twist into our application. So we are very clear that our application, our code, what we have written is perfectly working when you tried in debugging mode. But when you try directly, you see that execution is done and no product is selected. So one obvious reason why it is happening, because it's taking some time to load the products, but before loading the products on the page, we were quickly checking the size of the products, which comes as 0, so that it's not at all going inside for loop. So let's do one thing. Before we actually get the product count, let's put 3 seconds. So this is not the actual test. So now it will wait for 3 seconds till all the products are loaded on the page, and then it will try to add the products to the cart. Let's see. You see that broccoli is added, beetroot is added, but why tomato is added? We were looking for cucumber, right? What's wrong? We have clearly seen in debugging mode that this code is perfectly working fine. But when I run directly without in debug mode, it's selecting tomato but not cucumber. So what could be the issue? Don't worry, your code is correct, but a minor change is required. So try to think before you watch next lecture on what could be the issue. Okay, thank you.